Let's talk supply chain. So welcome back to the show, Eric. I'm so excited that we're in person at Manifest and we're talking about Orderful and EDI again. I love it.
It's great. We're happy to be here. It's buzzing. It's going to be a very exciting week.
Yeah, there's so many people here.
That's right.
And you're going to be able to talk to so many people and help them with all of their challenges around EDI. So before we dive into all of that, why don't you tell everybody, or just remind everybody, who is Orderful? What do you do? How do you help your customers?
Yeah, we're a modern EDI platform. And what we focus on is making EDI onboarding, that experience, very fast, affordable, and easy.
Love that.
Yeah, my background was, I started my career as a consultant, building custom software, custom EDI environments, and I recognized that the biggest pain my customers had, it's kind of twofold. It was how fast they could onboard their supply chain and start trading with it.
Yeah.
That was kind of the first set of problems, and then second was kind of the production management and the ongoing support.
Yeah.
And as a consultant, I did my best work to move fast, but I always found myself kind of really struggling to get the job done in a quick amount of time because I didn't have the right tools.
Yeah.
And then, the production management side of it was, again, I did my best to build really good software for these customers, but I'd always leave them something that was on premise that was then they had to pick up and manage, and it became very complicated for them to pick that up. So those are kind of the two main problems that I set out to solve with Orderful, and we're doing it.
Yeah, I love what you guys are doing. And you talk about how EDI is like the plumbing of supply chain. Talk to me about that. Tell us, give us a bit of an overview of what EDI is. Don't get too technical.
I'll try not to.
Right, because we want to.
It's actually very challenging for me. But yeah, I mean, EDI is the way that enterprises talk to each other.
Yeah.
It's all their business-to-business transactions. So here at Manifest, it's every technology company here is trading EDI with their customers.
They're trading the data.
They're trading the data.
Going back and forth.
That's right. With their customers or with their customer supply chains.
Okay.
And the reason why it's around is that it just was widely adopted about 50 years ago.
Okay.
And everybody still uses it. It's become kind of the standard of trade in the supply chain industry and healthcare and financial industry and also retail.
Yep.
But since it's been widely adopted, everybody has some mechanism to trade EDI, whether it's an integrated solution or something that's more custom and manual. But since it's adopted, everybody continues to use it.
Right.
So there's a lot of talk about moving to APIs.
Kind of like Excel, right?
That's right.
Everybody uses Excel.
I think Excel is quite good. But
it is good, but everybody is saying
but EDI is not good. EDI is not good. It's kind of like email. Is email really the best way for us to communicate? I don't know.
Hey,
there probably could be a better way for us.
The future might be Snapchat. I don't know, but I don't know if I could do that.
Business communication on TikTok might be complicated, but I think we can figure that out.
So carry on about EDI and API.
Yeah. So since everybody's adopted this technology, everybody has to be able to handle it.
Right.
And APIs are kind of the same way. If everybody has an API, every company in the supply chain has to build custom integrations to those APIs.
Right.
I mean, why Orderful is around
challenging.
it's very challenging. Why we're around is we turn this whole legacy EDI experience into a modern software experience for modern developers and modern teams. So we make it easy for them to connect once to us and then trade with their supply chain through that one connection.
Man, I think I heard from the audience just now a sigh of relief, right? Because they're going through so many things as supply chain professionals. There's so many disruptions. Disruptions are not going away.
That's right.
And then there's the challenge of really being able to connect with people internally, people externally, collaborating, right? I say collaboration is the future of business. Well, how do we do that better? How do we do that easier? How do we do that smarter? And that's in the exchange of data, right?
Yep.
One question I have for you though, how clean does their data have to be in order to work with Orderful? Because that's a big question right now. Not everybody knows how to use the data that they have. And so how do we know how to use it and the right partners to partner with to help with
So this is exactly why we built our product. We've productized the whole EDI onboarding experience. And so what that means is, traditionally, if you're to not use Orderful, you're to use like a managed service provider or an incumbent software provider for EDI, something on premise. It takes about 12 weeks to get the job done. And with our platform, our customers are going live with new partners in 9 days. So we've been able
9 days?
Yeah, 9 days. We've been able to 10x the effort, or reduce the effort by 10x.
Okay.
And make it very simple for a company to start trading with a new trading partner.
Wow.
And the reason for that is it gets right into validation and right into the data. Most providers will only validate the structure of a file.
Okay.
Whereas Orderful, what's unique about us is we've created a network of connected enterprises.
Okay.
Anytime we onboard a company onto our network, we publish their data onto our platform. We publish their requirements onto our platform. And we can not only check the structure of the file, but we also validate the data that's in that transaction.
Okay.
And so what that gives a developer, gives our user, is a real-time feedback loop if there's a problem. So they can solve problems in real time, rather than waiting on a trading partner to email them, a response or
Can you imagine?
a 997. Well, I did it.
They're
I can't
overseas,
imagine.
right?
Yeah.
And you're waiting 2 or 3 days. Like I know as a freight forwarding company, right?
Well, it can be
I
weeks.
I used to work for a freight forwarding company. And we used to wait forever just to get a rate from them to be able to quote the customer.
Yeah.
And these days, you're going to lose a customer if that's how long it's going to take you. I know it's a different example, but maybe share another example just really quickly of what you're talking about that could resonate with the audience.
Yeah, so like if you're onboarding a new 3PL, for example, right? Okay. You want to get your products into the hands of those shippers. Let's say you're a brand, and what you want to do is be able to sell your products to those retailers that the 3PL is going to fulfill through.
Yeah.
The longer that takes, the more opportunity costs you're losing out on, right?
So much.
So if not only the effort of building the integration takes time and money, but the faster the business can move, the more money the business can make. And that's really kind of the problems, some of the core problems we're solving.
Well, and that's what everybody is looking for, right? They're looking at their bottom line right now with everything that is happening in 2023. And if you can help them that quickly, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, in my mind. And in your mind, probably too. We're a little biased.
And our customers' minds too. I think at Manifest we have over 10 customers here.
Nice.
Most are SaaS platforms.
Okay.
But they all had the same pain, right? They have, Emerge, for example. I think we just released a case study with them.
Okay.
But Emerge has, thousands of customers that are all putting pressure on them to onboard new EDI trading partners.
Oh, really?
On their behalf.
Okay.
And so instead of Emerge building custom software to solve this problem or build custom connections to different shippers and carriers, they can use Orderful to move very quickly to solve that problem.
Wow.
And that's, there's a lot of benefits for modern SaaS platforms to use our product because we offer an API, which is what they know.
Right.
We're meeting them kind of where they are.
So you're meeting, on one hand, them where they are with API, but then you're also meeting the other side of the coin.
The demands of the supply chain, because what our product does is we'll automatically validate, convert. We convert the API call into an EDI transaction, and then we'll communicate it on their behalf.
Okay.
So our customers no longer have to worry about the infrastructure or the plumbing that's involved.
The plumbing,
with
we talked
EDI,
about that earlier.
that's right. We don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
We handle all kind of the EDI challenges or the typical difficulties with EDI.
Okay.
And all they have to focus on is integrating to our product and using the product in a kind of a productized experience.
Got it. I love that. So a lot of times we're hearing about visibility. I kind of think it's a buzzword, right? Like everybody's using it. And I think visibility means so many things to so many different people.
Yeah.
So in this case, run us through how important visibility is and how you're solving for that. In the minds of the audience, paint a picture of what visibility could look like by working with Orderful.
Yeah, so I mean, there's freight visibility, right? There's a ton of different types of visibility.
Yeah.
And you can actually use our product to get that data.
Mm-hmm.
We can serve people, our customers, and they're using it to report against their own data to know like how much did we spend on a full truckload from New York to California.
Yeah.
That's one. There's value in the data because we have a canonical schema, which means everything.
What is that?
Everything is the same all the time. So the shape of the file is going to be the same. So as an engineer, you know exactly what to expect when you read an order or you read an invoice.
Got it. Okay.
Or in this case, like a 204, like a truckload tender.
Okay.
For an EDI, visibility is really important because with typical on-premise solutions, when you're trading with your supply chain, you may not know whether or not they've accepted or rejected your transactions.
Very true.
You may not know if they've even received the transaction.
Yeah.
And one of the things we solved in Orderful is we have these, we call them kind of stoplights for visibility, and they're different states for a transaction, but we know, like, was the transaction valid? Was it sent to the partner, and did they accept it? And what our customers get out of that is they get to see exactly kind of the state of all of their trading partner relationships in one place. And it's all in kind of a modern cloud website, the SaaS product, where they can just log in, and any business user can log in and manage that data. So they don't need somebody super technical to build any reports or analytics. They can log in and view that information immediately. They can also subscribe to notifications in our product.
I was going to ask about notifications because those are really important, right? I mean, at the end of the day, if it's not approved, you don't want to wait to log in to find out that it hasn't. You want to know about it.
Yeah, you want to know if it's expired too. Like, there's cases if you send a 204 and it was never acknowledged. We have the ability to notify you if they never acknowledged it. That's right.
Yeah. Which is great because if you don't have a technology like this that is helping you manage that,
you have to end up building it all on your own.
Well, you're building it on your own, or you're doing it manually, and it could go unnoticed for weeks. And then think about how much money that adds that you're paying out because the order could have moved 2 weeks before.
Having run a managed service company, that kept us in business. But that's like the reason why we started the software product is to make that experience self-service for the customer.
Self-service. I love self-service. We don't hear that word a lot in supply chain with the technology, but I think also it empowers the supply chain professional to take the control back and really go to their leadership teams and say, hey, this is working really well for us. Right? Our teams know the minute it has been rejected, or we know that it hasn't been approved.
Right.
And there's so many different things. And I think it's really important right now, right? There's a lot of risk involved in business and in supply chain and moving products and logistics especially. And we're all talking about how do we manage that risk? How do we manage those risk dollars? So talk to us about how Orderful really empowers the supply chain professional to get a hold of some of the risk factors that they're dealing with right now.
Yeah, I mean, relevant to Manifest, like if we talk about trucking, we talk about carriers integrating with the shipper. The challenge is, you have to know where your truck is at any given time, right?
Yes.
You have to know, like, how much are you paying for the load, or how much are you going to get paid for the load as a carrier? And what we can provide is visibility into that whole, kind of the whole pipeline of data. We call it a workflow. So anytime a load is requested and the load is accepted with a 990 and EDI, and then the truck is sent, we kind of organize all those transactions into one group. So a user can log in and kind of click on what we call workflow and see what's the state of that relationship with their partner. Without that visibility, and if it's fragmented, there's a ton of risk in not knowing, like where this information, where the truck is, how much you're going to get paid, what you bid on the deal.
Are we going to lose a customer because we didn't deliver on time?
That's right.
Ooh,
or not on time,
even the penalties, right?
Yeah,
There's lots of
penalties
if you don't deliver on time.
That's right.
Those can be huge.
Yeah, they can be, percentages of an invoice, right? It can be up to 5-10%. Of like an off-invoice item.
Well, I mean, the other thing too is when a line goes down, right? You're delivering into somebody, their line goes down. You're costing them, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of dollars per hour.
That's right.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that. So I'm glad to hear that, with your workflow part of the equation, you can actually go through it and just make sure that everything is happening as it needs to in real time.
That's right. And it kind of transfers the job away from being something that's very technical into a
Good.
self-service
That's what we
experience.
need.
Yeah, into a self-service experience for somebody like you.
Thank you. Okay.
No, but for like business analysts or like non-technical folks to log in and understand what's going on.
I'm definitely non-technical, so
Yeah,
it's okay.
No, hopefully that wasn't offensive.
No, that's totally not offensive.
Good.
I'm the first one to say it. All right.
I know. We
So
talked about
who is your ideal client? Talk to me about that. If I'm sitting in the audience, listening to this, watching to this, who do I need to be?
Right now, we're winning with 3PLs, 4PLs, and also different SaaS platforms.
Okay.
And the reason for that is they have hundreds or thousands of customers that they're serving.
Yeah.
And these customers are expecting them to, these 3PLs, 4PLs, and platforms to trade EDI on their behalf.
Okay.
And so there's a ton of pressure with these companies trying to figure out EDI.
Yeah.
So that's where we found kind of a really strong hold in the market.
Good. Okay.
And that's why we're at Manifest. In EDI, there's kind of two sides of the supply chain. There's a leader, the company that sets the requirements, and there's a follower.
Yeah.
Typically, we work with enterprises that are leaders, and we create we can create a self-service experience for all their followers to onboard through our platform.
Okay.
But also, we of course sell to a lot of followers as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So we can work with both sides.
And I like that, right? Because at the end of the day, you want to be able to partner with somebody who's also going to be able to grow with you.
That's right.
And I think you can do that.
Yeah, that's right. Expansion's a big part of our business.
Yeah.
But we'll only grow if they have a good experience.
Yeah.
So that's something we're really focused on.
Good. Okay. So now it's story time.
Okay.
I know you've shared a couple of examples. I shared a little bit of an example from my 3PL days.
Yeah.
But give us a case study, because I think I have it right here. KBX Logistics, or KBX Technology, the vice president said they chose you largely because of how you're thinking about the future of data exchange and architecture, which really goes to show your vision, what we're talking about today. And we're going to talk about the future of Orderful in just a minute. But run us through a really good case study. Like, what was the problem that they came to you with?
Let's talk about Coke Industries. So, so KBX is part of the larger Coke industry portfolio.
Yeah.
They're a 3PL for all of the Coke portfolio.
I've talked to them before.
Okay. Amazing team, really smart people.
Yeah.
They bought Orderful. They have to be smart. Their problem was they had a team of people. Like let's say north of 10, maybe under 20 people, doing EDI onboarding with carriers. Okay. And they had no standard way to invite the carriers onto their platform and to start trading with them.
That sounds like a lot of work.
It was a lot of work. They had a lot of manual intervention, a lot of emails, a lot of phone calls, a lot of kind of pushing the carriers along to get their job done. They selected Orderful, and there was also no standard process for validation, for onboarding, anything.
That's tough, especially when you're dealing with trucking, right?
So it was taking them, before Orderful, it was taking them they had about 90 steps to complete the EDI onboarding
90 steps?
And it was taking them about 12 weeks to onboard a new carrier.
Ooh, that's a lot
And
of work.
they had north of 10, maybe under 20 people doing this. Now with Orderful, they have 4 full-time business analysts that are doing EDI onboarding. Okay. They took that 90 steps down to 30.
Wow.
And they took that average of 12 weeks down to about 9 days for onboarding.
Wow, that's quite a story, right? I mean, if you're sitting there in the audience and you're thinking about how much time you're spending, what that process looks like, and how long it's taking you to onboard, because the longer it takes you to onboard, the longer it takes for you to actually make a difference.
That's right.
Which doesn't help the bottom line.
That's right. And they were evaluating, larger, we're a startup, right? We raised our Series B a couple of years ago. Yeah. We have great investors. We've got a lot of backing. But we were definitely early days when they selected us. Okay. But they selected us because we can move fast. Yeah. And we can solve problems for them in a way that the incumbents couldn't. Okay. Also, they had a ton of exposure and experience in working with the incumbent providers. Okay. We went up against the largest EDI companies in the world on this, and none of them could provide a productized self-service experience for onboarding the way that Orderful could, and that's ultimately why we won. Wow. And the other thing that was really cool is they were looking for modern experience, a modern API, and that really came down to Orderful being, the most differentiated product in the market to offer that solution.
That is such a great story, right? Because like you said, I mean, you're not the only one that does this. You do have competitors.
That's right.
But it's the differentiation and the experience that you've brought to the table to really dedicate yourself to create a product.
It's not just me.
That is different. I know it's
there's
not
a ton of
just you.
smart people around me.
I know that.
I'm relying on them to solve problems.
And you've got a great team as well, but you were also in the trenches, right?
That's right.
You did the work, you saw the problems, and you wanted to create a solution.
I mean, I can call bullshit. Like I can like hold people accountable and know what's right and wrong. But there are a ton of smart people, way smarter than me, that actually built, figured out what to build and how to build it and in the right order.
But it comes from that experience of being in that moment and being like, I know that there's got to be a better way to do that.
I'm super grateful for that.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so what does the future hold for Orderful? I mean, I'm really excited. What do we have coming down the pipe?
Yeah, so we're focused on, growth now. We're focused on great customer experience. Our last customer NPS score, if you're familiar with that, Net Promoter Score, which is a way that companies, like customers, evaluate software, was really high as a 75.
Wow.
Which is kind of unheard of. Like the average for SaaS software is about 30.
Okay.
So
really?
we're super focused on, and that's a survey across all of our accounts. So we're super focused on customer experience. We're really focused on a great product experience, and we're letting growth happen organically.
Okay.
In 2024, we're going to probably raise another round of capital, which is going to be very exciting.
Yeah.
But what's coming on the roadmap and what we're building this year is support for Europe. We're building, so in EDI, there's North American transaction types, which is all X12.
Okay.
And in Europe, there's Edifact.
They have to be different, right?
They have to be different. So we're building that into the platform now. We're going to release that. That should help a lot of our customers now that have global businesses, but also allow us to expand our footprint a bit.
Amazing. Well, Eric, it was so good to have you back on the show today and talking about EDI and talking about a topic that I think a lot of supply chain professionals, a lot of organizations are really struggling with right now.
Yeah.
And knowing that Orderful's on the market and can get you onboarded in 9 days, I mean, who doesn't want that? And with an NPS score of 45 over
75.
the rest, I know, over the rest, right?
You did the math. All right.
I did the math already. See, I might not be technical, but I can at least do the math.
Yeah.
But 45 over, according to your clients, like that's a really, really big deal. So if you want more information about Eric and Orderful, go to orderful.com and they will answer all of your questions, get you onboarded really quickly, and have you making some really good decisions about your organizations quickly. So Eric, thanks for coming back on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was fun. Very fun.